During this pandemic, women are on lockdown, children are on lockdown with their abusers. The fear and upheaval brought on by the COVID 19 is escalating abuse worldwide. I call it a double pandemic. Hi, come on in. Yeah, so I am a pastor. I am an advocate for women. Um, I'm a purpose pusher, and my mission in life is to literally help to guide women into their purpose, to help women see their value, to help women see that they are worth more, and to guide them into living their best life now, because there is life after abuse. There is life after divorce. There is life after loss, right? And so I'm a survivor of sexual abuse. I'm a survivor of domestic violence. And I say I'm a survivor, but I'm more than a survivor. I'm actually a survivor and a thriver. I thrive every day as I press to live my best life now. Yeah, I have some bad days. We all do. But I just want to encourage anyone who has lived through domestic violence or sexual abuse of any kind. Know that there is life after. Know that God is no respecter of persons. Know that you are fearfully and wonderfully made by God. Amen. And know that God can still use you, and he wants to use you. But you have to know your value. And if you are still in that situation, you have to make a resolve that you want more, that you want better, that you want better, especially if you have children, that you want better for you. You want better for your children. You know, I often get the question, why do women stay? Why do women stay? And it's such a loaded question because there's so many reasons why women stay. And I can really only tell you why I stayed. I stayed as long as I did because at the time my son, he was a little boy. I left when he was 5 years old. And in my mind, I thought that I wanted to keep our family together because I wanted my son to grow up in a two-family household, not realizing that the two-family household that he was growing up in was a toxic and abusive two-family household. Yes, he had his mom and dad, but he had to witness a lot of abuse. Thank God he's an adult now and he made it through that. But listen, God has so much more for you. God has so much greater for you. God is not calling any of us to suffer, especially at the hands of an abuser, a misuser, a manipulator, because we know that there's also different forms of abuse. There's sexual abuse, there's financial abuse, there's physical abuse, there's emotional abuse, right? There's so many different types of abuse. And trust me, I've lived through them all. But notice I said I lived through them. I made it to the other side. And I am happily married now, remarried to someone who loves me so very much, loves me the way I always knew I deserved to be loved, right? He cares for me. He takes care of me. Doesn't mean that it's always perfect, because nothing is ever going to be perfect. As long as we live in this fallen world, nothing's going to be perfect. Nobody's going to have a perfect life. But I can honestly say that I wake up every morning happy. I wake up every morning looking forward to my day. When I turn the corner and look in the driveway and see my husband's car, I get excited. Where I remember there was a time when I would turn that corner and see a car and I would just start crying, just start breaking down and crying and wanting to turn away, turn back, right? So I just want to encourage anyone who has left. You made that decision to leave, and know that there is life after, and I'm here for you. We can talk about it. You can join us. We have a support group, and I'm here for you. right? So you can inbox me or you can email me at tearsinabottle, the number 8 at gmail.com. That's tearsinabottle, the number 8 at gmail.com. Or you can just inbox me. And if you are still in an abusive domestic violence situation, I want to give you a phone number to call. Okay, so let me pull that up for you really quick. It's the National Domestic Violence Hotline. That number is 1-800-799-7233, 1-800-799-7233. So I wanted to give you that. Getting back to why people stay, because that's always the question. Why doesn't she leave? Well, first of all, know that it's not that easy, because obviously if it was that easy, everyone would be doing it. And so, and then statistically, after women, now I'm talking about women, and their men do get abused as well. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But women, statistically speaking, when women leave their abuser, that is the most dangerous time, because now the abuser has lost control. Now he feels like he has nothing to lose. And that's when stalking takes place. I lived through that. Even after I left, I was stalked for many years, right? He would come up to my job. He would come to my apartment. He would start fights. You know, he's still in his mind, I was still his wife. And I was not, let him even think that I was with another man. It just was a problem. You know, I spent many days calling the police, and it was just a lot. So, but what made me finally leave was when we got into the biggest fight we ever had, and he literally put his hands around my throat and he strangled me out. He choked me out. And when I came to this day, I can't even tell you how long I was out. But what I do know is when I came to, and when I looked at the bottom of the bed, I saw my little son, and at the time he was about 4 years old. I looked at the foot of the bed, and he was there playing with his toys. And I don't even know how much he saw. I don't know if he saw his dad choke me out. I don't know I don't even know, because I don't even remember. I just remember us fighting. And the next thing I knew, he strangled me. And when I woke up, he was sitting in the corner crying, telling his dad he killed me. So he actually thought he killed me. That was a real wake-up call for me. So what did I do? I began to put a plan in place. I always tell women, you have to have a safe escape plan. You can't just leave. You have to have a plan to leave, because you have to make sure that it's a safe time to leave. And so what I did was I got 3 people involved. And you know, most people who are in that situation, we're isolated. So you're not really talking to anybody, because, you know, that's one of the strategies to keep you isolated, right? But I reached out. I finally reached out. I broke the silence. I was living in this silent nightmare all by myself, really. But I finally broke the silence, and I told 3 people, and I told them when I wanted to leave. I explained to them I was saving my money. And then the day that I planned on leaving, they showed up, and I left him. A year after he choked me out, right? So a lot of things happened in between there, but I had a plan, and I did survive that. And I did go through a lot even after that. It was a lot of trauma. By the time I left, I was so messed up emotionally. But I'm here to tell you that there is life after that. You can live, not only survive, but you can survive, and you can thrive, and you can live your best life now, because I am living my best life now. I'm telling you, I am living the life that I always knew I could live. I am being loved in a marriage, the type of marriage I always knew that I wanted, like I dreamed about, right? So it's possible. So what I'm going to do right now, I want you to hear some clips from women who are talking about their abuse. And then after you hear that, if you see yourself in any of these women's voices, if you hear your story as they share their story, then I need for you to contact me. Again, you can email me at tearsinabottle8@gmail.com. That's tearsinabottle, the number 8@gmail.com. I would love to talk to you. I would love to, just pour into you and help you to see that there is life after, help you to realize that you have so much life ahead of you. right? That you are fearfully and wonderfully made, that God has such an amazing plan and purpose for you. And his plan for you is of good and not evil, a plan to give you a hope in the future, an expected end, right? But the first step has to be you making that decision that you're going to finally leave. And when you leave, you're not going to return, because a lot of women do that. They leave and they return. So I want to help you through that. So reach out to me. Right now, I want you to check out these other women, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay? Just take a listen. And as you hear their voice, if their voice reigns true and aligns with your story, then you need to reach out to me. Okay? Thank you. I know you can do it. You have the courage. You have the strength. You do. You're stronger than you think you are. You absolutely are stronger than you think you are. Take a listen. Hey, this is Pastor Carolyn from Tears to Breakthrough Ministries and Conference under the spiritual covering of Apostle Felicia Anderson of the House of Healing International. We are breaking through together, so come on in. This is Life After Abuse.
Abusive relationships start out like all relationships. If you were going to go out with someone for the first time and they reached over and they hit you in the face, you probably wouldn't want to go out with that person again. Sometimes it's almost too good at the beginning of an abusive relationship.
That there were indicators. I am very passive, and with him, as soon as I married him, his whole disposition changed with me. Immediately I became owned, and he said so right there as soon as the I-dos were done. He said, now you're my wife, now you need to act like my wife. That degrades you. From the start of the abuse, I started feeling bad about myself. It was basically just go to work, come home. He had a problem because I made more money than he did. So, words, I'm going to degrade you until I think you are low enough. It's the money. Here, take this $20 and make it last all week. It's the children. You better not leave these children here with me. It's your sexual relationship. Forced sex. Maybe no sex.
A minister, do everything for the church, but I will ask him to do things for us, for our family. It was almost that I had to beg, but yet he was the man of God that I needed to listen to and obey and submit. I no longer believe in the church system because I know it's imperfect. But what got me through was my relationship that I had with God.
Hi, this is Pastor Carolyn again. So listen, so if your story sounds like their story, then it's time. This is your season. This is your season. This is your time to get out, to get help, to learn how to think for yourself, and to have a voice. This is your time. Declare that with me. Say, this is my time. This is my season to get out. No more hitting, no more isolation, no more manipulation, no more, no more, no more.